Always flexing.
What did you say? This is how we rest?
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I'm excited to talk to you today because I have the perception, and I think a lot of women probably do when they walk into a CrossFit gym, that it's going to be a bunch of dudes who are all lifting just huge weights, and it's just going to be totally all men. And I've kind of found out that that's not necessarily true, and it sounds like the CrossFit Games, which we know are coming to Madison, what do they do to kind of help promote women and the sport from the women's perspective?
So the cool thing about the CrossFit Games as a sport for gender equity, men and women are doing basically the same workouts together. There are teams that have 3 men, 3 women, and they work through a workout together. So they're competing together against other teams. Everybody's carrying their own weight. There's actually a piece of equipment called the worm. It's 6 sandbags in one long line, and they all carry it together, do different movements with it, squats and presses overhead. But the idea that the men and women are doing the same workouts, the same movements, just different weights and scaling for that regard. But a lot of times some of the women are lifting just as much as the men. So.
Awesome. That's so impressive. I'm so glad to hear that. I mean, I think different generations have different experiences of what girls were included in when we were young kids in sports. You and I've talked about this a couple times.
Well, weightlifting especially. Yeah. I always felt like I wasn't ever, that was never something I learned how to do.
Right. So I just like that it's one, promoted, 2, and there's inclusion, like in general, where if you're working as a team, but then also as the team, you know, there's men and women, so you have that kind of like fun competition within that. That just makes you work harder, right?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, the girls were in the weight room and doing the strength and conditioning courses during the summer that all the guys were doing too. So
awesome.
I mean, we were all competing, running and lifting and jumping, and who can do the most push-ups, who can do the most sit-ups.
And at your gym at Connex, there's quite a lot of women there. I know a few of them, and they are very strong, very competitive, and also very gentle people. So it's all it takes the right personality, which could be really for anybody. Tell me a little bit about the training methodology of CrossFit and how it promotes women in the community in a larger sense.
Right, so apart from the sport of CrossFit, the methodology of CrossFit really allows people to work together. So we're doing the same movements next to each other. A woman might be lifting more than the man next to her. So we have some really strong women in our community. We did deadlifts yesterday, and some of the women were lifting more than the men. So it's not about just having strong men in a gym environment. Strong women really make Connex what it is.
Yeah, I agree. And the deadlift, just to remind me, is one where you're up all the way?
Just from the floor up to the hip, so just lifting something off the ground.
That takes some serious core because it's like a whoop, right? Yeah. I've seen a bunch of people there doing it. It's quite impressive.
So Brian, the things I've been reading is that, well, you were just saying, there's no men workout, women workout. It's all one workout. Everybody's doing the same thing, and the games themselves, I understand they get the same airtime, they get the same prize money.
Yep.
That's all really interesting to hear.
Yeah.
So even though everything's the same there, you've got some events that are to promote women in CrossFit. Tell us about those.
So the CrossFit community across the country, across the world has grown over the past few years, and some of the events that have come out of that are Barbells for Boobs, which is a breast cancer awareness and fundraising effort where men and women are working out together. They're wearing pink. They're doing similar workouts in order to raise money for that. One event that we have some women doing this weekend is the Femme Royale competition. So it's an all-women's competition hosted at CrossFit Fort Atkinson, and then the Uplift program, which is happening here in Madison across all the different CrossFit gyms, as well as allowing outsiders in as well.
Well, that really gives an idea to the whole community. It's not just your gym that's got its own community. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's very clear, though, that you guys are very inclusive, and that's just awesome, and welcoming people in, especially people who are probably new to CrossFit and maybe just hearing about it now. How can they get in touch with you?
So they can send us an email, they can give us a call, or check out our social media.
Awesome. Love it. CrossFit Connex, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll be back with more Girl Talk right after this.